Welcome back to another episode of Out of Home Insider. Today's guest is a returning guest. It's Nick Haggard, who you might remember from Alpine Media, the company that puts screens in ski lifts at some of the country's top ski and snow resorts destinations. He's here today to show off what Edison Interactive has, an expansion to that portfolio that he works with. And Edison Interactive doing really cool stuff with screens and golf carts. So if you've got a target audience that spends time on the links, this is definitely an episode you want to check out. It was actually not planned as an episode, or I missed the memo, but we have a kind of different riff on this one. Heather from the OneScreen media strategy and planning team joins this episode and asks Nick a bunch of questions. Really good, valuable insight for the buyer in this episode. So I hope that you enjoy that one. If you're looking for companies like Edison Interactive, like Alpine Media Systems, check out OneScreen.ai. We're building the first free public access directory for all things out of home. It's ungated. It's everybody in the industry. So to find more companies like Alpine, like Edison Interactive, check out OneScreen.ai. And without further ado, let's go.
Welcome, everybody, to the Out of Home Insider Show, a podcast like no other, hosted by the one and only Tim Rowe. Get ready to have some knowledge dropped on you and to be entertained, because nothing's more valuable than food for your brain. So sit back, relax, we're about to dive in as the best industry podcast is about to begin.
Nick, welcome back to Out of Home Insider. We've got a new guest, Heather. You've got to do your last name. I'm not going to butcher that for the worldwide. How do you say? This is so embarrassing. Heather's new to our team at OneScreen. She's on the strategy and planning team. We just call her Heather the Superstar because it's easier to pronounce. But Heather, how do folks say your last name?
It is Waisanen.
Heather Waisanen is going to ride shotgun with me today, because we're back with Nick Haggard, who has a lot of cool new stuff. Nick, I'm not going to steal your thunder. Why don't you tell folks what it is that we got going on? If you're listening to this episode, really going to encourage you to go back to the show notes, find the YouTube link, come back, watch the video content to this element, or that element's important to this, because it is definitely a show episode. Yeah. Nick, what's going on?
Man, this is good to be back on the show. When we last talked, it was all about ski. Alpine Media has partnered with Edison Interactive. As you see the logo behind me, that is a content management software for connected devices. One of the biggest kind of pillars of our growth is in the world of digital signage. Alpine Media, who focuses on the ski digital out-of-home space, and Edison have come together with an exclusive partnership for Edison to be the seller of all the ski inventory. With that, I came to the table with Edison. So I still get to represent all of our ski inventory from Alpine, and now have access to everything that Edison is doing in the growth across the connected devices. Obviously, for this conversation, we'll focus on the digital out-of-home space and what we're doing across multiple industries. The biggest one that I have behind me is in the world of golf. Shark Experience presented by Verizon. Edison Interactive is the software developer of this platform, as well as the ad tech behind it as well. So
Nick, the thing that I'm personally wondering, you're talking about technology for golf. Is this going to improve my drive at all? Will I be a better overall golfer after this episode? That's really the question on everyone's mind.
I don't know about after the episode, but after you experience one of these on the courses, you will.
Because these are cool. Are these screens in golf carts?
Yep. These are all touchscreen interactive screens that pretty much provide content to golfers that would help them across the course. So for someone who's a big golfer myself, whenever I go to a course that has these screens, I use it the entire time. Right. It makes it so I don't have to bring out my rangefinder. I can connect my So it's all golf kind of content and insight, as well as then the experience that the new young golfer wants, which is insight on what's happening across the sports. So any games that are happening, anything PGA Tour wise, updates across golf and what's going on in the moment over the tournament over the weekend. And then the big one that everyone's loving is our music connectivity. So with our relationship with Odyssey or TuneIn, you can connect your own device to it. So being able to play music during round as well.
All right. So walk me through the logistics here. I don't golf at the right courses. because none of my courses have screens in the golf carts. Usually I'm doing like the $10 Wednesday afternoon special. But so these are tablets that are inside the golf cart itself. I know we've got, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're seeing two screens here behind Nick. You've got the tablet, which is simulating what's actually the experience, and then the screen above it is kind of projecting that so we can see it.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So imagine inside your golf cart, where the rear view mirror is in your car, is this interactive tablet called Shark.
Can I just get that for my car? Could I? Is that I'm sure. No.
Yeah. We provide it to golf carts outside of golf courses.
Oh, that's cool. So like if we're like Heather and we live in Florida and we use a golf cart to get around, we could just put this. Well, that's super cool. So how many courses have tablets like this, and like where are these courses, and who are the types of golfers that are at the courses where you actually have these interactive screens?
Yeah, and this is the exciting thing with me coming on to Edison, is still being able to keep the Alpine, but then the growth we've had across golf. We are at now 350 plus courses across the nation. It's about 35,000 connected carts. It's across the board, from private courses to public to municipal courses. We pretty much provide it to any course that desires to upgrade their game with connectivity.
So do they have to pay for that? Do you sell them the hardware? And like, is this something they come to you and they say, "Hey Nick, I want to upgrade my fleet. I want to add these things," or is this something that you give them because you know how to monetize the data and the space, et cetera?
Yeah. So the big move that Edison founders created at the beginning of Shark Experience was partnering with Club Car. Club Car owns a high percentage market share of all golf courses across the nation. So Club Car actually does all the selling into locations and courses for us. So that's what's enabled us to scale so much. They already have all the relationship with all the golf courses. They're providing with Shark Experience. It's just a better experience. It's a better experience for the golfer on there. It has from sports updates to dynamic yardage for golfing, to connecting your phone for music. That's why we've been able to scale so much. We got a team that already has the relationship with all the golf courses, and we got a product that is pretty easy for them to say yes to.
And I see Heather nodding there. Like Heather, thinking about marketers, thinking about like the consumer, and Nick, maybe to set Heather up to best ask or answer this question. What's the ad experience? And Heather, I'd be so curious, like your initial thoughts as a marketer.
Yeah, you want me to start off with what the experiences?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm curious to see, who's used this in the past. What industries are you seeing?
Right.
Yeah.
So to start off with, we make it very exclusive. 5 partners per course is our max. One of those typically is going to be the golf course itself, promoting their own profit centers. That's a lot of value we bring them as well. I'll go into this, but we have built, and it gets released next week, a first ever digital out-of-home self-serve platform, where we're going to be able to promote this across the screens, across social, across press releases, and it gives the courses the ability to upload their own creative and promote whatever profit centers they want. So that's the big thing, is exclusive with 5 partners. As you can expect within the world of golf, we try to keep it to high level partners that relate to the golf audience. So, it's everything from Porsche to Lexus to Salesforce to Microsoft to, bigger type brands is typically what we have supported thus far. But we see growth in some of the SMB, smaller and medium-sized businesses and agencies. So that's why we built the self-serve platform, which will hopefully give everyone access to it, because we have a very small sales team. We're technically the software developers. So, where I come in is trying to get more demand on the product, which is going to come through self-serve and through programmatic. Ad units all run inside content. That's the same thing that we did on the Alpine side too. That's definitely the route within digital signage that brings value in the way of entertaining and informing guests, while at the same time, being able to make it as a profit center. So the content never goes away. As you can see, on the full screen, here are some ad units. This Shark Experience is presented by Verizon. So this will imagine to be right here. This as an ad unit right here. On the music screen, as you go down, there's an ad unit as well. On golf, this big screen over here, the tower ad is an ad as well. So Similar as what Tim, we talked about in the past with Alpine, where valuable content to the ski audience. We always provide valuable content to the golf audience with ads embedded within content.
So are there different sizes on different screens? So you have kind of the option to have a larger ad versus a smaller ad.
Yep, exactly. Yep. A bunch of, I guess, 5 different ad sizes, but all typical ad sizes that most buyers will have. Everything runs through GAM. We are a GAM 360 partner. So that's the big thing that we're doing on programmatic too, is doing a pre-bid that sits on top of GAM, connecting to all the digital out-of-home SSPs. So, with being a GAM 360 partner, I mean, it's all our reporting is accurate. We also have ComScore Insight as well. It's an average of 1.78 golfers in a cart per round. So obviously most people are playing with a partner, and you spend about 60% of your time on the course inside the golf cart. The value that Heather, that I always talk about with planning is if you see value in this golf audience, which we can share all demographic insight, but it's probably what you would expect. You're connecting with them for 4.5 hours, with a very high share of voice when we have only 5 partners per course. So yeah, I'd love to hear it. And let's hear your insight as a strategist. What are your thoughts?
No, I think it's great. It's a great way to reach that audience too, just where they are, where they're playing, where they, it could be a work meeting as well. People make deals on the course all the time. So you can have a business deal and be like, hey, look, our ads up here. Good. I do love it. How often can you buy? Could you do like 1 week? Can you do a 2 week? Is it a 4 week minimum? How does that work?
Yeah, so with the direct buy, so again, as pretty much a software development team, that's where we really have we have 30 developers inside this office. On the sales side, we keep it small. Captivate is one of our exclusive resellers of inventory as well. So we have access to Captivate's inventory that we're going to put on the self-serve platform as well, moving forward as they transition over to GAM, we hope. To answer your question, it can be on the self-serve side, it can be whatever you want. We have the minimums on the direct side, managed through me, but on the self-serve, it could be a 2-day, $500 is our minimum, but giving access to any time frame, any number of courses, any budget on 500 plus.
So could you walk me through this self-serve? So if I was like, okay, I know this person's going to be on the golf course here, this location during these times. I want to buy, these 3 days. How does the self-serve work? Like I can just log in and kind of drop my ad in and do everything directly?
Yep. So our partner is a company called Dan Ads. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They provide self-serve for some of the bigger players out there too. Roku. What's another example of someone that did something with? Expedia. Expedia was another partner of theirs building self-serve for them. So pretty much they've helped us build a white label. It is ours. It's Edison admanager.com. Then there's a golf ad manager, hospitality ad manager. As we continue to grow across inventory, Alpine products will get put in this as well. You literally can go in and from the start, you set up an account, you select golf or hospitality or ski. From golf, it goes down to what scale do you want? National, regional, state, specific course. Let's say you select state. It showcases all the courses in that state that you're receiving. From there, you select your time frame, then budget. We then have an impression tool that flows within GAM that gives you the insight on, is this a strong enough frequency? Is this a budget and impressions level that we can serve over this time frame? You accept, you upload your creative, you select pay by card or invoice, and your ads are up and running once we approve the creative. So yeah, it's exciting. And we've spent months building this out. Literally, we're in testing phase right now, and we're going to release it to some of our key partners next week for their testing as well before we release it to the market. Go live potentially March 1st.
Awesome.
Selfishly, can we be? I mean, that's super cool. Like, I want to be a partner. How do folks get access to this? Seriously, like I'm sitting over here like drooling as a marketer as you're describing. Like it's that easy, and I can reach like a really specific audience. And I'm thinking about some golf brands even that we've had conversations about out of home and how do you how do you as a D2C brand that's scaled really efficiently, right? How do you continue to test? How do you continue to test offline channels in just as efficient and scalable a way when, right, you're kind of a bootstrap D2C brand? Well, if you sell golf stuff to golfers, this would certainly make a lot of sense. And that self-serve platform was probably sounded really interesting and real appealing. And I think Heather was probably eager to get a login too. So how do folks get involved, and how do they get involved early?
Yeah, I guess two ways of getting involved is one, you can either be a buyer, a buyer on there can easily sign up and do it. As far as inventory goes and growth within providing this service to other digital out of home providers, we're really testing it first on golf. That we have the scale, we have the number of screens, we have the impressions, 4 billion annual impressions we're serving now. We're making sure this works very well across golf. We're making sure that the platform works. We've done a lot of testing.
Billion with a B. Come back to
billion.
4 billion impressions a year with a super valuable audience, right? Just the golfer audience is super valuable in itself. You've refined that super valuable. That's a technical term, by the way, for anyone taking notes at home. Super valuable. You've refined that super valuable golfer audience to like the best of the best, right? Like super high lifetime valuable courses. And you've come up with an ad format that is 100% in their face, where they are 60% of the 4 hours that they're on the golf course. Like we say 4 billion, you just kind of like let it go out there. But like those are 4 billion really hard to get, really valuable impressions a year. 4 billion impressions a year. How many of those are going unsold? How many of those are available? You don't have to disclose the number like a bet, but like, what's the opportunity? Like if I'm a golf brand, what's the opportunity out there?
Yep. And that's why I'm so excited with this opportunity joining the Edison team, is it just opens up the doors for much larger campaigns, and especially if it's a similar audience that we want to package in with Alpine, then you got a whole winter time frame. We now have all summer, spring and summer time frame. Yes, the inventory, the fact that we've scaled so quickly and have all these courses already is what is exciting. The opportunity financially is huge, and that's really Edison's goal, is to as a content management software provider for connected devices, we want to provide entertainment and information, but we also want to take these screens, this little screens that we live into, and make it a profit center. The big thing that we didn't talk about on that, Tim, with the 4 billion is that could be all 4 billion video too. It's not just display.
Come back to the video thing. Wait.
All these could be video ads.
Here. 4 billion, and they could be video ads. This is the but wait, there's more moment, Nick. Like 15 second, 30 second. Do I have sound? Don't I have sound? What are the specs on video?
So through GAM 360, everything's at 15. 15 is what they run video wise. You can have audio. Obviously, if you're connected to your phone to it, you're going to be playing, the music will be playing, but you can have the ability to turn audio on and off. And something I should note is, I have rounds where I want to be quiet. I don't want to listen to music. I have rounds where I want to go out there and have a beer and play some music. Note that in what we built inside the carts.
Those are the rounds that I'm. That's why they're the $10 courses.
Yeah, the speakers inside the carts, by the way, keep it isolated inside the carts. So, that's a big thing that we've tried to make this as valuable for the golf courses as possible. You can have sound on or off. You can have your music playing or not. And if you have your music playing, we keep it inside the cart.
Well, shoot, I'm just wondering where the line starts for all the brands that are lining up for this. Nick, how do folks get in touch with you? We're going to make sure that all of your listings and everything on the OneScreen marketplace are updated, and that folks can easily find you. Check it out, onescreen.ai. If depending when you're listening to this, either you're going to be able to just log right in and find Nick, or we might put you on the waiting list to be notified of when that free public access directory is available. But in the meantime, Nick, how do folks get in touch with you? How do they learn more about Edison? What are your Latin long?
Yeah, it's easy. I'm very active on LinkedIn. So just Nick Haggard on LinkedIn with Edison Interactive. Email address is nhaggard, HAGGARD, @edisoninteractive.com. As far as the self-serve release, you'll see it. We're going to be putting money behind it. There'll be press release behind it. Thankfully, Verizon as one of our biggest partner That's an easy way to scale press releases with growth across all of their followers. So yeah, you'll see it. And it's pretty easy. Once it's released, go to Edison Interactive admanager.com and the self-serve opportunity will be there as well.
Well, I'm super excited to try. I know Heather's probably got a half dozen campaigns that she's thinking about right now that this could be a fit for advertisers that we could present this to. So Nick, I super appreciate you being back. Heather, thanks for being so willing to just do this on the fly. I think that we need to do this more. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love it. Little nerve-wracking, but it was a fun experience.
She did it. Find Heather on LinkedIn. Mike, if you could also link to Heather's LinkedIn in the show notes below so folks can find her and connect with her on there. If you found this to be helpful, as always, please share it with somebody else who could benefit. Make sure to subscribe or smash that follow button wherever you're listening. And we'll see y'all next time.
Quarter century, I finally came to my senses. I finally got my hand up on the tinted Benz, kid. I see the world clear through my tinted lenses. With the dream and the drive, the possibilities endless. Now print that, send this all the way to Tokyo. Take a trip down south, down to Mexico. Next stop, Shanghai, the world-class trade show. First class all the way, cause that's how we roll. Yeah, call us the rock star businessman. Rockin' shows, we handle business, man. We got our own future in the palm of our hands, cause divided we